Hey, peace, guys. Thank you for being here. So, before we start, wherever you are, I am sending you love, abundance, infinite joy, good health, strength, positive energy, and high vibrations. I pray that you receive everything that your heart desires and more. I pray that wherever you are safe, you are seen, you are sound, you are heard, you are valued, and you are loved. So, I wanted to talk really quickly about shadow work because I know how important and imperative shadow work is in your healing journey, especially if you're just starting a healing journey. And for me, that was how I started my healing journey, with shadow work. And to start, so what is your shadow self, right? So when we think about the word shadow, we think about something that is hidden, something that is dark, something that is unseen. So that's basically your shadow self. So your shadow self is the parts of you that you have repressed, the parts of you that you have tucked deep down in your core, the parts of you that hold your trauma, the parts of you that hold your triggers, your fears, your insecurities, the parts of you that fill your mind with those low vibrational and negative thoughts. That is where your shadow self lives, right? The little girl, a little boy in you that is still holding on to certain traumas, right? Every time you're triggered by something, that's your shadow self peeking out, right? So what is shadow work? Shadow work is facing your shadow self, acknowledging your shadow self, acknowledging your triggers, acknowledging things that you still need to heal from, that you notice are popping up in your current life and in the life that you're trying to cultivate. They're popping up in your relationships, how you function in your relationships, how you function within yourself. That's shadow work. Being able to tap into those parts of you, the parts of you that you tucked away because of fear or embarrassment or fear of judgment. It's facing those parts, and it's learning those parts, and it's not only learning those parts, but learning how to love those parts and accept those parts of you. Because we all have a shadow self. Every single one of us have a shadow self. But it's about pulling that shadow self out and learning, okay, why am I triggered by this? Why do I have this reaction when this thing is said or this thing is done? It's learning those triggers, honoring those triggers, learning how to move past those triggers and healing from those triggers. And shadow work can be done in a lot of different ways. So I started my shadow work journey also with mirror work, looking at myself in the mirror, like gazing at myself in the mirror and actually seeing the person that's in front of me and inspecting every single detail of me and loving every single detail of me. That was the mirror work part of my journey. But doing shadow work, I would say journaling. Keep a healing diary, a healing journal. And every time you're triggered by something, every time you notice that your anxiety is flaring up or your emotions aren't the best, write down how you're feeling in the moment that you're feeling it. Identifying your triggers, and learning why you're triggered and healing from those triggers. Another way to do shadow work, meditation, sitting with yourself. And I know meditation, it's a lot. It can be a lot sometimes, especially if you're not used to sitting in silence. So I always also suggest leaning towards a guided meditation as well. Meditation, writing things down, facing your triggers, and identifying your triggers. How do our shadow selves show up, right? So our shadow selves can appear in the form of insecurity, projection, self-doubt, fear, being triggered by something, depression, lack of accountability, feeling like you don't have a voice, like anything that you feel like is carried from whether childhood trauma or just any situation in your life that caused a traumatic reaction within your mind, body, and heart, those things start to pop up. That's your shadow self, like peeking out. So I would say, if you are starting a journey right now in shadow work, be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself. Don't be afraid of the dark parts of you, the low vibrational parts of you, because they are parts of you. And I think once you reach a place where you realize that you are carrying so much weight and you want to release that or heal from that, it makes it a little easier to go into it, because you're going into it knowing exactly what you're up against, right? You're up against those unhealed parts of you. And it's just about navigating through that healing and really loving who you are inside out. And I think a lot of cultivating the life that we desire and a lot of manifesting the life that we desire comes from healing ourselves, right? We can't truly know the divine love that we need to receive if we don't give that divine love to ourselves. And the only way to really give that divine love to each and every parts of us is to heal those parts of us and be kind to those parts of us. So I just encourage you to give yourself grace through your healing journey and just be fair to yourself and give yourself time. The healing is not linear, and no one's journey looks the same. No matter if you go through the same thing, the healing process is never going to be the same. The healing process will never look the same. I think it's just about giving yourself that grace and also not being afraid to lean on people. Use resources. If you are having like a hard time understanding certain things as you're going through the shadow work journey, don't be afraid to use resources. Don't be afraid to reach out to communities or people or your friends that you know will support you through those feelings and through that journey. But most importantly, just, being kind to yourself and giving yourself that space and that grace to heal with ease and love and kindness. So if you are currently on a journey or starting shadow work or starting mirror work, this message is going to be for you. We're going to let that card, when cards jump out, that's a sign right there. So we're going to keep that card as a confirmation card. So yes, if you are starting a journey in shadow work, starting a journey in mirror work, or just starting any healing journey whatsoever, this message is going to be for you. May your heart receive this message in the time that it is meant for you to receive that message. So we have suffering in silence and mental conflict. So while you're on this journey, do not be afraid to lean out for help. Don't think that you have to do everything alone. Don't think that you don't have people around you that can support you and that can lift you up. Don't think that you have to be in this dark place by yourself. Like, there are people that love you, that can pour into you, that want to pour into you, and know that you do have a support system. The battle that you're facing right now is in your mind. While you're on this journey of shadow work, the conflict that you are having, it is all within yourself. And it's just about understanding and loving yourself and knowing that it's all in your mind. And you're going to get through this. And this is just the beginning of the journey. But it's a beautiful part of the journey. But you don't have to do it alone, and you don't have to be alone. You have people that love you. I kind of want to pull another one that was actually really beautiful. So we're going to do one more. I love this. At the end of your journey, you will be triumphant and you will be successful. So the message is, you don't have to do everything alone. You don't have to suffer in silence. You can reach out to support. You can reach out to help. Don't allow your thoughts to get the best of you. Your mind is so powerful. Don't allow this to stop you from your journey. When things kind of get overwhelming, don't allow it to stop you from the journey, because the end is really beautiful and you will be successful in the end.